Hi there and welcome to another video. In this video, you're going to see how to set up OpenLiteSpeed WordPress on DigitalOcean. I'm going to use the DigitalOcean OpenLiteSpeed WordPress template, and that is available when you deploy a new droplet on DigitalOcean, and you're going to see how to do that. So first of all, the requisites. What do you need? What do you need for this to work? First, of course, you need a DigitalOcean account. You can create your account with DigitalOcean. And then after that, you're going to need a DNS provider. And for the DNS, I will be using Cloudflare. You should also use Cloudflare. If you don't have a Cloudflare account, create one. And then you're going to add your DNS records right here. So this is a domain I will be using as a sample in this tutorial. Once I deploy the server, you will see how to add the required DNS records to make this work, especially for Let's Encrypt, so that we can get an SSL certificate. Lastly, of course, you need a domain. If you want your website to be online, you need a domain. For this tutorial, I'm recommending Dynadot. If you want to use Dynadot, you can do so. I'll also add links to the other ones that I recommend, like Spaceship and even Namecheap, in the description and in the comments below. All right, so let's go and get started. I'm assuming you already have your DigitalOcean account. Log in and let's create our first droplet. So I'll come to DigitalOcean. Just click there on create. Click on create droplet. Choose a location. I'm going to choose Frankfurt, Germany. Choose an image. So here under image, you need to go to Marketplace and get the DigitalOcean OpenLiteSpeed template. So I'll click there on Marketplace. It's already one of the most used, so it's recommended here for you. This one uses OpenLiteSpeed, and this one uses Apache. So the one we want to go with is the one for OpenLiteSpeed. So I'm going to click on it to select it. You can also click to look at the details, like what versions of Ubuntu and what versions of other software does it come with. You can click there on details to check that. But this one will come with Ubuntu 24.04 as of the date of this recording. So I'm just going to go down and I want to select, I'm okay with the premium AMD shared processor. So you can select the types of CPU you need there. I'm going to go with the basic premium AMD, and I need at least 2 GB of RAM. So I'm going to go with 2 GB of RAM and 1 CPU. So I'm going to select that, and that will be $14 a month. It's going to increase if I add backups, and backups are important. So we're going to enable that as well. So click there to enable backups, and you can choose whether you want weekly backups for that, which is 20% of your server price, or daily backups, which are 30% of your server price. So depending on how frequently your website changes, select the right one. And believe me, the backups are important. So make sure you select a backup. In this case, I'm not going to select any because this is just a demonstration. But for you, make sure you have a backup set up. For the SSH key, I've done multiple videos for this. You can generate your SSH key, add it there. But in this case, for the demonstration, I'm just going to use a password. And make sure you store the password like I've done here, because it will not be shown to you. And it will not be sent to your email address as well. There are advanced options here. You can enable IPv6. Definitely enable IPv6. You can add an initialization script if you have one to install maybe certain things you need. So that's pretty much it for this, and I'm just going to leave it with that name. And then choose a project, and then choose the project where you want this to be set up. So it will be within that project. A project will house the different DigitalOcean resources that you deploy. So if you deploy anything inside of this project, you can find it within that specific project. So I'm going to create and deploy. Create the droplet. Right, so I can click on it. I need my public IPv4. This is public and that is private. So get the public IP. So go to the domain and then I'll go to DNS. I will select records. I want to change the DNS records for this. I will add an A record. I'll just use the @ and this signifies the domain itself, and then it will point to the IP address of DigitalOcean. Save. Come back. I will also add the IPv6. So I'll copy it, come back to Cloudflare, and I will add a code A record. That. And that's one as well. It will just go to the domain, paste, and for now I'm leaving proxy, but if I face any error issuing SSL, I'm going to disable the proxy status, and then I'll save. The next one I want to add is www, so I can add www as a CNAME. So I'll add www as a target to the domain, and then save. So that's pretty much the bare minimum that will ensure that your website is accessible online. So now if I go here, let's see if I'll see anything. So it's probably still propagating. Let's just see. Copy, and then I'll go to DNS checker. Let me check the name servers. Okay, name servers are on Cloudflare. A record. Let me open Ctrl+Shift+N to open a private window, and then I can check. All right, good, perfect. So you can see I've not set up the domain. That's why it's just going straight to that. But let's set it up. So to set it up, you need to log into your server. So let's go and get our IP. DigitalOcean, get your public IP, and open your terminal. If you're on Windows, I usually just prefer you download Git Bash, you download Git, install Git, and then open Git Bash, and you can run every command I will be running instead of using the Windows terminal. I know it also supports SSH, but just install Git, much easier, and there won't be anything you won't be able to do as a result of following along in this tutorial. Everything I type, you can type it on your Git Bash on Windows. All right, so let's log in. I'll do SSH, and the user by default should be root, and Ctrl+Shift+V, that is to paste the IP address. If you're on Git Bash, you can paste with Shift Insert. Enter that. I'll get my password, copy. This is a password I set up, and then I'll type yes to confirm that I want to add this to my hosts file, and then Ctrl+Shift+V to paste in the password, enter. All right, so you can see it requires for me to set up things right away. Okay, you can take your time to read this, but most importantly, most of the details have been added there for you. You can even access PHP MyAdmin, and if you want to access PHP MyAdmin, just look for WordPress, just look for the WordPress WP config file, and then find the database user and username and use that to log in. And then all these details you can find here. If you want to check your MySQL root password, this is stored in that on your local right here where you are right now, but you should probably move them somewhere else or delete them, copy them somewhere, and then delete these files. Let's begin setting up our WordPress on DigitalOcean LiteSpeed template, OpenLiteSpeed template. So I'm going to copy the domain name, Control-Shift-V to enter, to paste time in. The domain you put is that. Please verify it is correct. Type Y, enter. Domain has been added into OpenLiteSpeed listener. Do you wish to issue a Let's Encrypt certificate for the domain? Definitely. Type Y to confirm. So enter a legitimate email, because Let's Encrypt is going to fail if you don't enter a real email. So I'll use this email. Enter an email for Let's Encrypt. So make sure it's a legitimate email. Otherwise, Let's Encrypt will fail. So I'm going to issue with this email. And then enter. Please verify it is correct. Type Y, enter. So if it fails, it's probably due to Cloudflare. So certificate has been installed. Do you wish to force HTTPS redirect rule for this domain? Definitely. Type Y to confirm. Enter. Do you wish to update the system now? Definitely. Enter. Can the domain be accessed now? goalme.com. Okay. Web server down. Don't worry. Probably the updates. Let's wait for the update to complete. The updates have been completed. Let me confirm apt update. Okay, let's just check apt upgrade. Okay, I can still upgrade this, so enter. All right, so that's that. Let's confirm if we have a firewall and is it opening the right port. So the first one in Ubuntu you should always check is UFW. So let's look at UFW status. All right, so all the ports seem to be open. 2280, port 80, port 443, those are open. So after the updates, you can see everything is ready. So you need to install your WordPress. So continue. Site title, let's just call it DigitalOcean WP. Username, I can use admin0. There is my password. Let me just copy it. And then your email, I can use sample search engine visibility. If you're just getting started designing the website, definitely discourage search engine. But once you're done with the full design of the website, make sure you disable this under WordPress settings. And then I will install WordPress. There you go. The installation is complete. Now to log in, you can go to your domain /WP admin, and then you can log in. So for me, it is admin0. And then I will use that password. Remember me, and then log in. There you go. Your WordPress is now installed. It seems like there's an update. So let's go and update whatever needs to be updated. So the WordPress version can be updated. Just click on update to the latest. All right, so let's test. Can we install a theme? So let's go to themes and add theme. We can search for, or let's just install one from the popular list. I can install generate press, activate. There we go, confirmed. You can install a theme. Let's go and test installing a plugin. Add plugin. Let's install, I don't know, let's install WooCommerce. WooCom. Oh, that will definitely be under popular. So I will install WooCommerce. activate. I can skip this. So that's how to install WordPress on DigitalOcean using the DigitalOcean OpenLiteSpeed WordPress template. Alright, so if you go to the front end, you can visit the site, and that is your website. You can edit it however you like. So that's how to set up DigitalOcean WordPress OpenLiteSpeed. If you need help setting up the server, maybe adding security to the server, feel free to go to bizanosa.com. We'll see how to assist you. If you face any issues with the installation, let me know. So just update the server, let it finish updating, and then you can access the website. Right, so that pretty much ends this tutorial. If you need help setting this up, securing the server, feel free to go to bizanosa.com. So for this, I'm going to delete my droplet. I don't need it. So let's go and delete the droplet. I'll click there on destroy. And I will destroy this droplet. So enter the host name, copy it and enter it there, destroy. Alright, I will add all the links that I've used in the description and in the comments below. Until next time.